I'm pretty sure you've heard every anime YouTuber that's mentioned Mashle as Harry Potter and One Punch Man combined. And yeah, that's pretty much it, nothing much to add to that. Last year spring, the anime's first season was airing, but after binge reading the manga around that time until I was up to date, I was kinda tapped out from the series. So I decided to not bother watching the show. The manga was at the tail end of the story and it was a frustrating task to follow it until it finished, and I didn't want to pile that with the possible mental whiplash of following the anime adaptation as well. I ended up reading the final chapter a few weeks or so later, and while the hype in me fizzled out a while back after catching up with the regular releases, it was an overall enjoyable read for what it was. On the shorter side like Demon Slayer, and it definitely demonstrates that sometimes less is more. When I realised Mashle season 2 was due to air at the beginning of the year, I was at two minds to watch the anime because that would mean doing the same thing I did with the source material. So I decided to wait until I could binge watch both seasons, save the last 2 episodes of the latter. So here's a manga reader's thoughts on the anime's story, characters, art and what I think of the whole show so far. Let's get down to it. Like I said before, the less is more approach is prevalent and the story is no exception here. No overarching world, just the city that Mashle is based in, its population and the rest of the characters that belong to the magic school. People can complain that the world building is poor or non-existent, and okay, they might have a point, but that's just saying that it's not your cup of tea. I can't really say that what Hajime Komoto created in that regard is a disservice to his own story. Would I have liked a more expansive world than the one we currently have? Yes, because that's what I'm used to. However, we've seen a lot of series introduce a new aspect of the verse midway through the story, and we can't ignore some of the ones that lost their globally positive reception because of it. Mashle is fine as it is. As for the plot, it's clearly an underdog story where Mash is trying to gain validation despite not being able to use magic. It also reminds you that it's a gag manga, with the humour actually being funny because of Mash's oddball nature and how he gets out of these seemingly sticky situations. I remember reading it at first worrying that I was going to get annoyed with the jokes at some point, but then realised that the gags got a little less frequent and also kept you guessing, which I'm pretty sure most people appreciated. I know I did, and I love that the series didn't waste much time getting into the tournament arc, but I'm not sure if people were okay with the show having 2 tournament style arcs and an imminent multi-showdown taking the bulk of what's been shown so far. To the people that share that feeling, may I remind you that the show is about a person who is predisposed to be literally unique. His skill set trumps everyone else's in combat potential, and his feats are as if he's simply in the wrong universe. Therefore, the purpose of a training arc is out of the window, and he doesn't have any worldly objectives, so go get that rep XP, Mashle. The show's roster is medium-sized, and that's fine for a show to center around a school of magic. Mash Burndead, the blunt one, is kind of hard to hate. Sure, he's a goof, but he's super strong and means well. I don't really have much to say about the side characters, though it's nice to see Mashle's earnestness slowly gain the respect of the authorities and students, even if it's with seemingly not much effort at times. I mean, it is part of the joke. It's meant to be a part of the whole picture of overcoming all odds, not a lengthy, overdrawn segment. I suppose my favourite characters besides Mash are either Auto or Rain, but that's more because of what we've yet to see. So I'll go with Finn. The art takes the simpler style and it's the same with the animation quality. You're not going to see blades of grass or locks of hair get smoothly brushed by the wind. Not that type of show. The sharper character outline aesthetic doesn't bother me, even though it's not my cup of tea. The animation does suit the art style, but that's me making an opinion on what I currently see without actually having a structured thought on what makes good animation. Something to explore in the future, I suppose. Anyway, as for adaptations, there are certainly worse out there, but I'm aware that avid fans of the series are not impressed, and I can see why. They've probably got the big Mappa shows in their mind and are really annoyed that Mashle can't get that treatment. But we're simply not in that time where that kind of quality is considered just standard work and doesn't cost exuberant amount of resources to fund the project. Anime onlys who loved the first season should enjoy the second season just as much, though you'll be disappointed if you expected a massive improvement in animation. Not to mention that not only was the announcement of the second season's release made towards the end of airing the first, but A1 are currently spearheading the solo leveling anime, and it's clear which one is playing second fiddle to the other in terms of budget allocation just by looking at the animation. All things considered, the anime is finishing in 2 weeks, so I don't see why you can't binge watch this in a few sessions, even if you haven't watched the first season. That's it, that's the end. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like. Helps this video get thrown around in the algorithm for people like yourself to see, and I'd really appreciate it. If not, leave a comment about your thought on the video or the series. See ya.